Partizan guys have shown it. So, you know, I'm not sure Falcons would have practiced it at all, really. So that has to go out the window. And yeah, from there, Partizan pick into Mirage. Falcons haven't won a Mirage in the last 3 months. They've barely played it. There's, you know, it seems like a very shrewd pick. The nuke pick from Falcons is just a comfort pick. It's just a map they like playing. But Partizan, they haven't played it much. They've only played it once since the player break, but they've looked okay on it. So, I don't know. Maybe I am siding with the public. After seeing this veto, I'd be stunned if Partizan doesn't get this to 3 maps.
Yep, definitely would be a surprise for us, but we're into the action pretty quickly here, Alan, actually. We don't have to wait around too much for this. They've been chomping at the bit to get in. Of course, this game a little later than scheduled. All the same, charging in on that Partizan side of things, starting off on the T side. Colin's going to be leading the charge. This is the Furia look pistol, where they try and get some control in towards that jungle area. 2 CTs to deal with. Duplicate going to find both of them. Meanwhile, Kenny over at CT, trying his best to stay alive. The kills are just all going the way of Partizan, though. Duplicate with a big triple. He's a name that I've been watching for a while, and honestly, such a hot prospect. Emmy will take down misutaaa, and a fiery, explosive start here to Mirage.
Yeah, it feels like Duplicate and KalubeR were both players that were on the verge of playing in those top Bulgarian teams, but never really. I think KalubeR played for a little bit, if I remember correctly, but that was by virtue, really, of other roster moves opening up spots. That's certainly what it felt like. So they've been on the periphery. They certainly haven't been, you know, the big star players of that region. So it's a little bit surprising to see them now coming up on a new team and actually having some really good performances. But hopefully, I don't know, maybe that opportunity now to be a bit more in the limelight. Maybe they can choose their spots on a team like this. Makes a big difference. And Duplicate, obviously, on that pistol was looking pretty handy, to put it lightly.
With a nice shot to open this one up. A lot of damage coming in there off the back of some nades. They do have to watch themselves. Duplicate will break the silence for Partizan, finding himself a headshot onto NBK. Any more for any more? They're on the way. They're on the way. He doesn't quite know it. Python's moved up off a boost there, I think, to make sure he does so silently. Python just looking for the control and ultimately forcing them, bullying them off of this A-bomb sites. Oh, Collins. Up Hadji at middle. That one looked very dangerous. Only 4 HP remaining for Collins.
What's the move if you're Falcons? You're just going to stack B? Kenny's trying to get this kill down mid, but no intention of facing his Collins. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, here it is from Falcons. Full B stack. They're a man down. They got to take a risk. Worst case scenario, they save into the next. And yeah, did you wonder if they know the HP of these Partizan players? I mean, the scout is an AWP at this point on 3 of them. Maybe they could have stuck around a little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe. Tough to say. They will indeed, though, back off, so it's going to be an anticlimactic finish here into the second round. Partizan just getting it over the line, and yeah, 1 or 2 more stray bullets, and this one goes a very different way. So Falcons, you know, not too shook early, but they're not really finding too much substantial success. You look at the board there, only 3 kills picked up in these couple of rounds for them.
No, yeah. Still very early doors, but for Falcons, I think the thing about Mirage for Falcons is, well, especially with Kenny S, we're just lacking data, essentially, on where they're at. I don't see why it'd be a particularly bad map for them with some of their players. NBK, certainly, with a team like Mouse, would not have been a huge stranger to a map like a Mirage, so interesting. We'll see what they choose to go into. This one's just going to be a pretty heavy eco around those saves. Kenny S, sword in hand. Sorry, scout in hand into a CT on A. And it's just a 5A stack. So, yeah, Falcons quite clearly gambling on an A site ending for this round.
Yep, certainly looks to be the case. I don't know whether they're going to get it. A few spams away from Partizan here. A little bit of nadage, all that good stuff. slowly but surely working their way through. Python going to be the next facer. Nearly loses his head to ROGA. And again, both of them coming within millimeters of each other at this point, so ROGA does need to be careful. He does not drop this rifle, and he will. Brilliant nade from Kenny to facilitate that happening. The headshot a little overkill, but it gave them the confidence. 4v4 then. They have managed to get some B control down on the Partizan side of things. Emmy going to get the plant through. And so that should spell the end, because as you said, they were gambling on an A stack. It took them a bit of time, but Partizan eventually find out that it is B.
Good kill from misutaaa. Doesn't entice him too much to go for this, but it's not bad if they can get one more kill here. That is pretty hefty economic damage. Nice to see. Guns to follow soon. Collins speaking round. As Haji hits the deck. So yeah, free for Partizans. Not looking too flustered on these rounds. Lost a few numbers though. As you get into the guns, I mean, is Kenny really going to hold on to this scout in the following gun round over it all? Keeping tabs on that one. So here we go. First gun round for Falcons. Of course, being their opponent's map pick, they get this nice CT-sided start. Kenny's got a good spawn. He's actually going to stick on the scout. Yes, he is. Wow, okay. Interesting. I already thought he would upgrade it, but clearly has confidence in his own abilities on the scout here.
Yeah, a little curious. I'm curious, I suppose. He's not really found too much, but he might as well just hold on to it, I suppose. Very, very, very quiet in these early rounds, you know. They really do not move fast on the Partizan side of things. Playing together, playing as a team. ROGA on the AWP. Keep your eyes on him. Hopefully he appears in the kill feed for that Partizan side. They're going to get a player in towards... Ooh, window on. Perfect timing there to maybe hide the sound with the smoke bloom. Not sure if it's worked, because there is a player in the form of MBK very close to this window. But still, they might be unsure. Might be not quite certain. And you like to be certain when it comes to the sound info.
Masu's still on an island. They started this round 4A. Masu's just burned his smoke, and this is the smoke that should allow time for a rotation. MBK's now on his way back. They're getting ready to go. Duplicates flashes. MBK really needs to go back to this bomb site and shore up with misutaaa. Unfortunately, the smoke was just enough. They don't commit. MBK is here, but look at the flank. Oh my lord, Emmy's found a massive gap. And if MBK's looking the wrong way, I think he's dead meat. Here he goes, hits the deck, had no idea a player was in behind him. misutaaa is in a similar camp. Got a little bit of coverage from the market side with this pillar, but ultimately forced him to take bad fights. Wow, how did Emmy get such a massive gap there? That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, Falcons going to be kicking themselves a little bit. But it seems Partizan are not messing around. This is some really clinical Counter-Strike at the moment. Really, really solid stuff. And although we're still early doors, for Falcons' game style, I think that this could be a difficult matchup for them.
Oh, so when I was coaching, I found these teams really hard to prep for. Yes. Because they play a variety of competitions. It's hard to always, you know, extrapolate information. They tend to be a little bit less structured just by virtue of not being as experienced as a lineup. So it can be really hard actually to get a good gauge on what's coming at you. And I'm sure Falcons does have support stuff. I'm sure their players looked at. Well, I'm sure the players, alongside that support stuff, do look at games, but they can be really hard to prep for these ones. Yeah, you're just playing a team that's a little bit on the periphery. If you're playing, you know, the Sprout or the Sinners of the world, that's a much more known quantity when you go into that preparation.
Very, very true indeed, good sir. Duplicate, first one to face, does get traded instantly, but he's got information. Maybe the ramp players here could make a bit of a move. Actually, the A site is quite vulnerable. They don't realize how vulnerable. What is the wave? Collins down below. And again, they're just so slow, so happy to put the brakes on. They know that Falcons love taking fights, I think. That's the big one when you come up against Falcons is, as we talked about, guns up, get ready for pretty much anything, a burst flash out of nowhere. And if you can get that down, like Sprout did, then Falcons can be an easy team to put away if those individuals in Kenny, in Hadji, are not popping off, are not on the carry train.
The aggression here, off the back of Kenny taking the deep angle. Masu's going to push, and I think he's in real trouble. Trade is there. 3-on-3 now. Collins making a lot of noise. His teammate is... He needs to be close behind. I don't know if he's going to expect Kenny to be so close to the bomb site. Indeed, he doesn't. KalubeR gets one in reply. It's getting very hectic. 30 seconds, and... Well, ROGA here has to make a decision on where to end. You haven't got time to turn around anymore. And he's going to commit to B, and KalubeR is a long way off. So, yeah. It's a good read, though. Look at Falcons. Falcons are fully expecting A. I think they're very much in the boat of, you know, the time is this low. If we're seeing A pressure, it's got to be the A bomb side, but the ruse is correct.
There they go, moving in for this retake then. Kenny S going to get boosted up. Has to find an early frag, and they're just not giving it across. There's hardly any time. They do have kits available. The one flash as well for MBK. Needs to be good. ROGA gets tagged up. He's lucky to be alive. Wide swing does not go his way. Kenny will take his head, but there's just no time. NBK tap on the bomb. KalubeR knows he's not there, and he's even confident enough to go wide because he'd won the round. Might go down to the bomb, but no. Not even that. Massive round for KalubeR coming in to get 5 in a row for Partizan.
Guns back in play, but as you mentioned, it's starting to get a little bit nerve-wracking now for Falcons, of course. It's not their map pick, but we need to see something compelling. Need to see something compelling. Can't keep losing the opening kill on these gun rounds. Make it all different. Look at this mid-aggression straight up his NBK. There's players boosting into ladder, and Python playing from connector. One-way smoke goes down as Kenny S is tagged up enormously as he tries to peek. 4 players basically in 10 square meters as Falcons coalesce around connector. How on earth is this still a 4-on-4? It feels like more bullets should have been exchanged, but everyone's applied the brakes, and wow, Falcons, I mean, this is supreme confidence that it's not going to be the B bomb site at the moment, and given the way these 2 players and apps are defaulting, I think they've got this completely wrong. I think they're about to lose the B bomb site.
Well, they've got to find some mid-kills, to be honest with you. Misutaaa moving in. Jupiter on low HP. Trade's got to be there, and it isn't. Massive kills. They've got the bomb with that as well. So although they do look low, although there is a good chance here, it's not an easy one. Misutaaa just creeps away from ROGA in the perfect time. Meanwhile, on the back line, we've got KalubeR. And he's KalubeRing. It sounds kind of like a verb to mean sneaking around. Let's see whether it's a good one or maybe less so. Not really finding anyone just yet. And he's getting flanked out as well. Not looking good. Kenny S. Oh, just get spotted at the last second of it. 20 seconds to go, though. Are these kills coming in fast enough? I don't think so. 18 to get the bomb and get it planted. Not going to happen for KalubeR. Falcons, by all accounts, should have themselves their first round.
That was crazy. I mean, if you're going to lose a round, still getting 4 kills, only Hadji survives. That was crazy in mid. It's really unfortunate for Partizan that bomb wasn't on the B players. Complexion of that round would have been completely different. Nonetheless, Falcons do finally get on the board. It's taken a while, but they're investing all their reserves straight into this. Kenny, no AWP in play. Of course, he's been probably their biggest weapon. To the rejoicement of all the old ones like us. He has been their biggest weapon, I think, in this tournament. And a bit of a shame he hasn't been able to be on the AWP so much in this first half.
Big nade onto Collins to kick us off here into round number 7. Python gets flashed in towards middle and finds a Collins completely blinded up. Easy as they come. Be a 5-on-4. left to happen here. KalubeR find something on A, not coming for him. We'll get taken down to 15. Emmy's eating some damage, so it seems like Partizan proving a little bit mortal in these past few rounds. Nice find from Emmy, but traded quickly, so the man advantage is retained. Now, ROGA on the orb. We need to see him activate, I think, if they are to take this round. Because it's just not going to happen off of, you know, individual looks, to be honest.
No, Kenny's not AWPing, actually, which is pretty good information for ROGA to get more aggressive. I'm surprised he's not already peeking CT, because it's not like he can peek into Kenny's AWP. Maybe that information hasn't been transferred over, because right now he's being very passive, and they need somebody to generate a play. Kenny, on the flip side, he's the one playmaking. In through underpass, drops the bomb. And this is looking pretty dreadful in this round for Falcons. AK's also given away. AWP there onto MBK, so big upgrades. And they could really have used a bomb plant, actually, looking at this money, because I think they got an eco, a bomb plant, and I think they would have bought.
Timeout being used by Partizan here. They know that they are pretty far ahead. They were gifted these early rounds. They want to make sure that they stay far ahead. This is their map pick, and yeah, they're definitely not messing around. They're definitely not messing around. There's some really clean kind of Counter-Strike. Maybe too clean again, you know? It's good to have some speed in there at times, so we'll see. Maybe that's change up they're going to go for. They're actually going to go in for a full buy. That's a big part of this conversation. You see where the money is at. ROGA goes for a hero AWP on the T side of Mirage. As he spawned at. He's not got the best B spawn in the world, so not quite sure where he's going to end up. Maybe mid. Not a bad spawn for mid. Glass cannon to me speaks to an early pick that, you know, absolutely needs to go his way if that's what they're after.
I really hope for his sake a nade doesn't sail up mid, because that would be disastrous. Oh, okay. Oh, I think he did well not to take a lot more damage from that.
He's off the ground, I think, so he gets very lucky.
Kenny, fast catwalk jumping. Stays posted up for now. Very slow from Partizan. Very, very slow. If they're not careful, I think they're going to creep into Kenny's AWP. They've cleared window, so why stop now? Kenny's on a right eye angle, and indeed finds the frag. NBK called upon, and actually, there is a trade, so 4 on 4. Kenny's committing to playing out on short. Now some utility pushes him back a little bit. I think if you're Partizan, I mean, you know how heavily mid was being worked there. You could have gone elsewhere.
Collins now contacting round the corner with this AWP. misutaaa, I don't know where he's going. They're looking maybe for a little bit of aggression over on A, retake the control of the site. This is so slow, 25 seconds, and Python's in a perfect spot as they move up connector. He's going to hear this molly come in. It's not for him. Oh, and he takes one down in the back. He's got to surely have the information that they're moving in. 10 seconds to get 2 kills and a bomb plant. Bombs hit the deck. That's going to be the round, folks. Unless, I mean, it would be mental if they can get it. Nah, just not going to happen. And he's got too many fights to win. They nearly get it with kills. That's
don't
so
peek,
unlucky.
Don't peek. Don't
That
peek.
is so unlucky. I think what kind of happens, because they've got barely any time, Falcons just threw everything they had to slow them down.
Money's out of balance now. They're doing a lot of economic damage, so that's the good news here for Partizan, but it's looking a little bit janky on some of these rounds. Their slow defaults are meaning they're coming up, you know, 20 seconds left. We're trying to execute onto a bomb site. It was going to be hard pressed to pull that off. Like to see a little bit of a pace injection. This one, as I said, it's just that pair of Seder rifles, around that some pistols, so all eyes on Duplicate and Emmy. Emmy's out mid right now, trying to peek in towards connector worst. Duplicate's, where is he? He's in Palace right now, hoping to play across his jungle, so as long as Falcons don't face, they should be okay.
very, very slow on the upswing here. Partizan moving towards a B play. Hero players in Emmy and Duplicate. No utility apart from the one flashbang, which hopefully will make its way into the hands of, you know, yep, pistol player. It does indeed. So we're looking at an apartment burst. misutaaa is in a very good spot to not get blinded here. This flash is going to have to be really good on the money and somewhat of a guessing game for it. And it comes. There he is, a bit blind, and it's enough. Isaac's not blind down below, but he can't find the frags. It's KalubeR on the Deagle who gets them done. And that is magic. 2 kills for the price of nothing, and he just keeps on going. They're going to move to save already. NES does get one on the way out, but that's going to be the round. Partizan back on the board.
What a moment. I mean, where did that come from? So explosive. KalubeR taking names, and yeah, now they're going to get the dividends of all their close rounds, their close losses. Kenny's the only player with any money. He can drop 1 rifle. It's going to be a car boot sale the next buy. But on the flip side, Partizan are picking up guns off the ground to bolster their economy even further. That's a big moment in the first map. Here in the conference lower bracket. Falcons. I think now it's looking really scary for them. This is a big pressure round, and they don't necessarily have all the bells and whistles to turn it. You know, to flip it on its head and back into their favour. They're really not going to buy. I'm stunned.
Yeah. Wow. It's also a bit of a rarity from the French scene taking it passive. Well, of course, it's this one, Alan. It's this boost. Just everywhere. You remember we did like a... Was it? It might have been with someone else, you know. I did a week of Eliza. I'm sure it was with you. And this boost just came out every single time there was like a half buy on Mirage. Saw it like...
Have I told you the Boros story about this?
No.
We'll do that in the minute when this round reaches a conclusion.
There we go.
Duplicate on his way. Flashes in, and I think this one is over. If you're Kenny and Haji, I suspect you're already in Operation Save. And,
story time.
Yeah, I think we've got a window here for you to hear the story. So, when Boris first joined Endpoint, he wasn't... Let's say he wasn't very team experienced. He wasn't the best with knowing callouts and things like this. So he used to, you know, kind of use what he'd learned from FPL or different places on occasion. So the boost you just saw by Underpass, we're playing a match. I think it was in an official. We're playing on Mirage. We swing out mid. Boros dies, and then he just starts screaming, "Jax, Jax!" And everyone's looking around. They get massacred in mid because nobody has a clue what Jax is. And it turns out that Boris had seen, like, in some Blast game or something, Jax do it once. And just started calling it Jax. And yeah, we got absolutely destroyed on that round. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, it is a funny one. To be fair, it only comes out in those force buy rounds. No one ever uses it like in an actual proper round. Speaking of, though, we've got a timeout coming through. The proper round is what's coming up, and it is the Falcons boys with a tactical timeout, making sure they work things through, and they will find themselves in a pretty good buy situation. They've got to get back on the board, though. Partizan already up to 7 on the T side. That's quite a substantial lead, quite a substantial round count.
Yes, indeed. Of course, this will be a buy, so no question about that. It's just how do they distribute the money, distribute the resources. Where's Kenny going to be playing? He's got a nice mid spawn. He might use the fast catwalk jump once again. Let's have a look. Here he comes, smooth as can be, Mr. Smoothman, and it's the nip smokes. Haven't seen this for a while. Kenny's got a decent angle. I don't think it's a very strong one way onto catwalk. I see it so rarely that it's kind of hard to comment on it because, yeah, you only see this 1 in 10 games at the most. Fades the landing, Emmy's in a little bit of trouble. Nip smokes have faded. And somehow, nobody's yet to hit the deck, despite everyone focusing in towards mid.
Yeah, I mean, they're focusing in towards aggressive plays here as well. Emmy just trying to stay alive. Shadow is spotted. I was going to say it is visible, but MBK just needed a moment to make sure. They've got a lot of A control. That seems to be what they were going for. Drag some players in towards middle. Just a bit of a shame that Emmy gets naded out, and they really focus in on him. So these A players are going to have to go large into low utility defense. Looks like they should just about be able to get themselves, a plan. KalubeR checks his angles cleanly. He's going to be onto the pistol for this, though. It's misutaaa with 3 at CT. They were not expecting it. Bomb goes down. 4 on 2. I mean, ROGA's going to have to go huge with this warp. He's ready for them from CT. Duplicate trying to pre-fire in as best he can. ROGA gets blinded and finished, and it's just going to be Duplicate. There's no no way he gets it. I mean, they're also very low. They're very unlucky here to have not found at least one in this retake. They don't know that yet.
Fairly nice from Falcons. Well coordinated, playing together, not getting overzealous. Nice little 1-2 punches throughout, and it works out pretty well. So they'll take that one. That was probably their cleanest round for quite a while. And we get into the very latter stages of this first half. Of course, a reminder, this is the map pick of Partizan. So maybe we shouldn't be so shocked that their T-side campaign is off to a good start. They've had some good officials recently on Mirage and other maps. And look at this. Again, more mid-aggression. Falcons are focusing this area of the map a great deal. This time, Emmy comes out on top. ROGA can't connect. Gets a chance peeking into connector. Just about straight on his aim. Duplicate taking so much damage onto the Python. Hadji goes unchecked on the side, but that's a quick trade, and this round has fallen apart. Bomb is coming over. And with the Falcons' money, no surprises. Got to keep these guns alive.
Yep. Partizan straight back on the board. They're doing a really good job of, you know, shutting down these rounds and shutting down the potential streaks before they even really get going. It's a damn shame for the French squad, but they are, at the moment, being bested for the most part. Partizan, you know, it's slow, it's methodical. That works. It cuts through the defense really effectively of Falcons because they just rely on, you know, individuals, or we saw in the last round a bit of a misread from Partizan pulling out a set round that is maybe in the annals for a reason. You know, you said, oh, I've not seen this one for a while, and it's like, perhaps there's a good reason for that. Because they didn't really know what to do with it once they got control. Either way, they are right back in with number 8.
The thing about those nip smokes is I think, in theory, in principle, they're really great. But everybody knows what they mean these days. And nobody's going to... You know, when they first came out, I think they came out of the Romania RMR for the PGL Antwerp Major. Was the first time. Then everyone was a bit blindsided. Everyone was like, oh, what's this smoke doing? They've missed their top mid smoke. And no, they're just dead. That doesn't happen anymore. Everyone's well aware. Kenny S can't connect. A little bit of an early warning, though. They get a ramp smoke down. And I think Partizan are cancelling. Yeah, it's the right call. It's the right call. Going through that smoke would have been suicide.
Well, we go back to the slow and silent kind of movement here from Partizan that we're used to. Straight up A execute by the looks of things.
It's so static from Falcons. They haven't moved. They get decent information. But as of yet, now they know nothing. The round's kind of hit a big fat reset button, and just by waiting out those smokes, Partizan are now in a good position. Their own smokes raining over. Standard A execute. Hadji pushes in and ROG is ready and waiting. Kenny gets ahead of this CT smoke. Does get one. But it might not be enough. Bomb surely is going to get planted soon, but they need to get on with this. Can't be wasting any time or this smoke's going to fade.
4 on 4. They get the bomb down, and they will manage to just about get into a decent enough post-plant position. Look at number 7 on your map, KalubeR, working his way all the way around, and he does so instantly. So, little do they know, but Falcons are on somewhat of a timer for this one. Maybe they do know with where the bomb's been planted. It's not really confirmed. That's why this flank can be so deadly if it's pulled off correctly. Or 2 mollied out in towards ramp. Nice find from KalubeR, no, and now it's another thing that they've got to deal with. The man on the backside, they're just trying to throw bodies at it. There's not a lot of time. Someone's got to stop this defuse coming in, and it is Duplicate from the ramp angle, in fact. misutaaa was hidden away from Con, but not rammed. Oh, and that is close as damn it. Partizan move up, but they will be counting their lucky stars. They've managed to pull that one off.
Been a Bulgarian bonanza so far this game. They're looking incredible. Good decision making. I think it was it KalubeR that did. Was it KalubeR or Duplicate the flank mid?
It was
KalubeR, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going KalubeR? I'm not.
It just rolls off the tongue. So the KalubeR, I mean, it has to. My brain has to think so hard to not just say KalubeR.
That is a bit my job, is saying words fast. So yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, it was quick recognition that if they just sat ramp and sandwich and palace, that was unwinnable. It only is possible because he flanks mid and offers up, another angle of attack, makes it really uncomfortable for Falcons. They had a lot of nades actually. So good recognition. It was a move they had to make. And he makes the right call. And the Falcons have never had money. It feels like they're so rarely saving into consecutive buys. Yeah. This is already a little bit out of control. Double digits. Looking pretty likely right now for Partizan. And that would be a pretty monumental result for the T-side of a map like Mirage.
Well, it started off rough, and it keeps going that way, to be honest with you. They are really struggling here on the Falcon side to just string any together. KennyS is going to get the boost up, but it's already being watched. Nice little bit of movement to get past the angle. ROGA just isn't fast enough, and actually, KalubeR goes down. So KennyS has done his job here. He's found a kill, and he's immediately going to be dynamic and move elsewhere. They were expecting him, but now it becomes a game of chicken, ultimately. KennyS, does he want to keep peeking to try and find these fights? Probably. But ultimately needs a bit more backup. MBK. Oof. MBK. Good angle. Ah, can't get it done there.
Yeah, KennyS is nowhere near. That's a good kill. And he gets himself into ramp so low that I think Hadji to just consider keeping a hold of this rifle. He's going to hit the deck. Kenny might have the same predicament and the same quandary soon. He's actually sticking around for the moment, I guess. Should somebody overface? It might be on. But look at this from Partizan. The only issue here is it's a bad plant for jungle. So ROGA does need to... ROGA should stop fighting. He just needs to stay alive.
Someone's called that for him, Emmy, on the backside as well. It's just confirming this fact, but someone did call it that, just be careful. Give them the respect. 10th round comes in for Partizan off the back of that, and again, looking really hot here. Yeah, like I say, it's been slow, it's been methodical. It's not been too much flashiness in it. Which actually, for Bulgarian Counter-Strike, classically, it was very brute forcey. So, a different energy to this team for sure, but like I say, it cuts through Falcons. They can't survive rounds if they're not winning early fights. That is their bread and butter.
Pretty sure the term contact play is the most common term in the Bulgarian language. They love it. That old, especially the old Fiend team. That team was ridiculous for always going contact. NBK traded. misutaaa comes off catwalk. 5 players here are fighting mid. It looks good right now, but if Partizan can get out and onto A, suddenly Falcons have ceded a lot of space, so they need to be very careful how they play it from here.
Bit awkward. KennyS crossing in front of his teammate. Will go down. Hadji, though, trailing. Oh, gets the trade in a second. ROGA misses the shot going aggressive. So this round is now just not going to happen. Yep, touchdown nade takes him down. 10-5. It's not bad, it's not great, right? I think, obviously, Partizan going to be very happy with the double digits. Falcons have got a lot of work to now do on the T side. We'll see how things pan out. Quick break first, and then we will be back with the second half of Mirage.
Bloodstained flag. Open road and nomadic plans. a quiet town. Bodies fall upon sacred ground. Burn that flag and a king is crowned. Coming to get ya. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. Bringing the fire, baby. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back in. We are here getting into this second half between Partizans and Team Falcons. Both looking pretty good, but Partizan, you have to say, on that T side 10 rounds is really solid, and ultimately they shut down Falcons as much as they possibly could, and so therefore setting themselves up for a really good second half of their own map pick.
Indeed. Indeed. Quite a lot of nades actually for this T side on this pistol. First smoke comes over. That's the top connector. Collins up close. Difficult duel and can't connect initially. Emmy called upon. Gonna fall back for that connector smoke. So, A-bomb site under control. Surely this is gonna become a jungle taker now. Jupiter's under a lot of pressure. Kills raining in. And now they've ceded all this ground. It's a nice kill from ROGA. But with such strong afterplants, this retake is going to be a nightmare for the CT side.
Well, ROGA moving in from short. Maybe an avenue change could be the move, but it is indeed going to be very, very difficult. I think they're maybe even just sort of conceding so they can take the armor into the next round. That looks to be the case now. They're both just so far away and not attempting at all. So Falcon's going to get the pistol. Pretty important that they did for their own sort of peace of mind. Ooh, and up comes ROGA to find one or two at the end, maybe. Yep. Oh, not going to get that second. Still, a lot of them do end up going down. Cleanly finished, cleanly taken. And it will be the pistol going the way of Team Falcons, but Partizan on the force buy. I mean, we're yet to really see what they can do with the force buy.
Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary on the CT side here. Plenty of smokes. See if they choose to deploy those. Key round for Falcons to really get their teeth into this T side and make this a compelling game. Gotta convert this. Won't be any window for mistakes, and well, Hadji's off to a hot start. ROGA hits the deck. Bomb now soon to be covered by Kenny. Is guessing they're considering an ace play as a player in Palace. One is Ramp. That's going to be Python. And slowly their tentacles start to grip onto this A-bomb site from all directions.
Yep. Yeah, looking pretty scary over there, so probably going to be another save angle on this round for Partizan.
Have you ever eaten octopus?
I have not. I know it still moves, doesn't it?
Is well,
I think the closest I've had is calamari. I think that is that fish. I don't know actually. I might have just made a big Google on that. You'd like deep fried calamari?
give me a minute. Yeah. Kalahari is the safari park. You don't want to get those wrong.
Yeah,
that would hurt. If you're trying to eat that, yeah. Calamari, it's Greek. Greek is calamari. Yes, I've eaten octopus once.
And
it
what do you think?
It was awful. I mean,
oh,
the well, I don't think they still move, but I mean, it moves in the sense that it's still very rubbery, and it's still we're actually eating is not that far off what it's like in the sea, you know. So yeah, when I was eating it, like the tentacles are still a bit grippy as well. It's very bizarre. I don't even like seafood. I don't know why I was eating it. Years ago.
Just to try it, probably, right? You got to when the opportunity presents itself. You don't really don't get many opportunities. Scampi. I had a lot of scampi in my life.
That's very British.
Yep.
I've never eaten scampi.
It's all right.
I had a period in university where I did eat a lot of fish, actually. And the only reason I ate it is because being about 20 years old and having no money. You just go into a shop and what you buy is only determined by how much it costs. There's no other consideration.
Yeah.
Same with alcohol. It doesn't matter what you drink. You're drinking like Hobgoblin and stuff because it's literally the cheapest alcohol known to man. And all aliens for that matter. But yeah, in Morrison's, they had this like bag of frozen fish and it was just called mixed white fish. That was all it was called. And you like look on the packet and it had some insane wording. It was like, in here could be these fish. It would list like 10 different types of fish.
That's so British as well. Is it from Iceland by any chance? It sounds like an Iceland.
This is Morrison's, but I'm sure Iceland might do it too.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, we've done an awful lot of talking, and there's not been an awful lot of action, Alan. So hopefully they pick up the pace a little bit moving into the latter stages. Seems to be the deal here. Solidly holding, solidly finding. And Falcons going to get their ace on the board in a matter of moments. That second shot is ridiculous from KalubeR. But yes, that will be the move for Falcons. Now we're up to 8. Now we're up to a proper rifle round, though. We've got to see what Partizan CT side can offer.
Yes, indeed. Okay, AWP is out on ROGA. Not yet to have massive impact. But of course, CD side and Mirage, that is an AWP's playground. AWP's delight, so many options. Where's he going to begin? Looks like he's in towards the CT on A, so reasonably standard stuff. Just to cover off. Well, at the moment, he's looking towards connector, but NEA contacts down the line. And overall for Partizan, very default play. KalubeR. Big opening. They're trying to split this B bomb site of Falcons, but bomb is on the ground. Smoke is now blocking short. I think they need to cancel this. I don't think this round is on. I don't think you can continue now.
They still want to go for it, though. Feeling pretty confident. Ooh, for a moment, but they will drag back. At least the bomb. Still keeping, I believe it's Hadji up there. Maybe misutaaa as well. Yeah, the two of them just looking to see if they could find anything. With nothing presenting itself, they're instead going to fake out and move towards A. But they kind of know that the likelihood of A is pretty slim. Look how deep Emmy's found himself. A kill and a flash, and that just confirms the fact that they've still got to be around mid. Oh, B, nice pickup from NBK on the left eye. misutaaa having a game here. Going to have to pop off in this round, really. And Emmy's just so deep. I don't know if they're going to consider this at all. They suspiciously move on to A, and it's quite clear what's the deal with that one. misutaaa, good timing to take down the AWP, though, in towards CT. Now gives them a chance. Just 3 remain. NBK finding another. The individuals that we talked about that need to pop off are certainly doing so. Kenny S is even going to survive the nade play from Emmy. Ridiculous. KalubeR 17-7 going to have to absolutely pop up, and they've got to give him the respect with this.
Has he
That
got
first one
time
was so
really to
easy.
try this?
Probably not. And yeah, he
Yeah.
does call off. Maybe if he found another kill facing him, but it doesn't happen, so we don't get that world, unfortunately, for KalubeR.
Pretty stunning that Kenny's only died 6 times in a map where Partizan have 10 rounds. Must be saving a lot on that AWP on the CD side. Nevertheless, good round from Falcons. I really thought that was going to become unbelievably uncomfortable once Emmy was, sat in ramp. It's kind of like there's players coming from everywhere here. How are Falcons going to hold on? They just managed to frag out in a few of those other directions and stabilize, but it was by no means comfortable. Important round though, and Partizan's money is not of a quality here to invest. Not full invest at least, so a bit of a half buy, and KalubeR here. He's the man of the hour. Got to hit a lot harder than the Whitefish used to if he wants to make a difference.
Whitefish be damned, okay? Let's, I'm not a big fan of it either.
These days I just take like the omega-3 oil stuff in the capsules and just do away with the fish.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel that. MBK opens up this round. They're going to go for an AXQ off the back of that pick. Emmy, I'm below in dark. Could be deadly. Molotov going to push him out, though, in good time. Flash comes round. Oh, it's just a little bit off. It blinds him, unfortunately. Collins will find 2. If only Emmy had been activated, it could have been a massive round here. As it stands, it is doable, but it's going to be tough, especially when they both fall in the exact second. Okie dokie. 10-10 then. Falcons are starting to open up, starting to really heat up here, and a timeout being used by Partizan, I should think rightly so.
Help me decipher this. When I see the name Collins, I think of like an appliance or something, but I can't think, at least in the UK, is there a brand name called Collins? Why am I thinking this?
I think of a Tom Collins, which is like the American version of a gin and tonic.
No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of like an oven or something.
So my mind is in a completely different
Collins.
area. I don't know. But it does sound about right, doesn't it? Collins Appliances does sound...
No, I think I'm thinking of the dictionary. That's pretty far off oven.
God. Yeah. Yeah, but it does
I
exist.
don't know.
It was in your head. It was in your head for a reason.
I'm not winning any pub quizzes with that level of knowledge.
Is there a different dictionary to the Oxford? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
What the hell?
But I think they might even make it... I don't know. Who needs a dictionary if you're not playing Scrabble, honestly?
Yep, very true. Especially these days. Just Google the words you need to know how to spell. Easy. So, MBK. Down to 73 HP, going to eat a nade at the top end of middle. Not a bad start for Partizan, but they absolutely need to get this one on the board because Falcons, all of a sudden, have wrestled back this control and actually look pretty good while they're in control.
It looks so flat as well, on the CD side.
Yeah.
Different team right now, and Partizan are just playing so unbelievably standard, and it hasn't worked at all as of yet. Re-smoke comes in for Connector. That will help out Emmy. Still time, though. Falcons don't need to overcommit. They can wait out the smoke. And look at... I can't believe how passive Partizan are being. They've lost full mid control, and they're still sat back on A. They were both actually playing retake there for a second. These two B players need to do God's work to hold on to this split because there's so many players circling around them right now.
"30 seconds, just about to get the bomb down. First flash over the top for Falcons. In they move with the Molotov as well. Down goes Hadji. That's short support. However, MBK and Misutaaa are going to make sure that they secure the B bomb site. Plant will be coming in momentarily. There it is. And, well, I don't know. Are they feeling themselves for this one? Maybe not. Short jump is successful. That's a good sign to start off this retake. Quick boost up for ROGA. He's immediately changed position very, very quickly indeed, but nobody is peeking into him. There's a kit available. There's a flash available, but that is it. Not enough. And the Falcons, they know that. This time is ticking down about 15 seconds or so until that bomb goes off. Emmy will be the first to chime in. Kenny takes him down, and there's just not enough time for this. Collins has got to get on the bomb about 2 seconds ago. So they'll try their best to move in, but instead they will move out, and they will give Falcons the lead.
Consolation frag at the end, but this terrorist money is absolutely out of control. I think Partizan will buy again. Some rifles dropped. I think they definitely should. They need to keep up the pressure here. Yeah, Falcons look pretty flawless. Pretty flawless as of late. Masuda's having a pretty storming map. Kenny building upon his good stat line. Very few deaths. And we'll see how this half develops. Partizan need to... I don't know exactly what's going wrong. I mean, they're playing way too passive, I think. Is my feeling. They're not playing very reactive Counter-Strike after seeing, you know, them losing control or... I think they need to react a lot more to what Falcons are showing them during the round because it's just been very stale so far, and Falcons haven't really had to make any hard decisions. They've kind of been able to do what they please because Partizan's never leaning, you know, the right direction or making a good information play. It's always been quite easy. Why hasn't KalubeR got a gun?
You know, that is a great question. I don't know.
Was he just running back to spawn, by the way, to buy a new one and he didn't have time?
I think so. Something's
Crikey.
gone awry. Yeah, something's gone awry that he didn't mean to drop or whatever. And he's also 19 kills. You really don't want him without a gun. Oh, duplicate going to go down to Python. Double dink does land. KalubeR's like, I need the help
Guys.
now. He doesn't know what to do. He does a bit of damage, but he will get taken down. It's ROGA on the AWP that's here. The time was bought at the very least by KalubeR. The Molotov flames cover up misutaaa. He'll bring it down to just 2 then. Actually going for the plant. He's not actually covered. Emmy could have rushed in there and denied the plant and really thrown a spanner in the works, but didn't know how good he'd got it. Collins picks up the AWP meanwhile and moves out. And that will be 12 going the way of Falcons. This is
That was really
good stuff from
bizarre.
Falcons.
Really bizarre. I mean, it's also quite a strong indication that Partizan's starting to get a little bit flustered. If you're doing, you know, that really shouldn't be happening. That I guess there was a gun on the ground and 2 players thought it was theirs. That sort of thing going down. You see players quite, you know, reasonably frequently, you know, forgetting to buy armor, but not having a gun is a little bit more impressive. It's a big loss, that save. This was a buy, but if that was saved through.
Well, timeout being taken here from Partizan. What do you talk about at a time like this? They were looking so good in that first half. It was, you know, a very, very, very clinical kind of T-side from them, but really solid. And now they are as yet to pick up a CT-sided round. What is happening? What is happening, right? At least, you know, the competition's on our hands. By all accounts, it felt like Falcons may well have gone down, especially after that first half. But they really are playing some great Counter-Strike right now, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm going to buy. Ooh. It's starting to get very risky, this. I mean, Partizan just need a round. Honestly. Send the tide. Ramp aggression. Kenny was boosted on the repeat. Emmy does get the kill. Nice start for them. Stifles any early attempts to hit A from this Falcons squad. They're still grouping in this direction. Intriguing round. Kenny starts to work in. Oh, repeat. Now they know. He might have even spotted the second player as well. No need to be facing again, Emmy. Just call the lads over and play the crossfires.
Yep. BK Molotov goes down, going to force Emmy out. Before he really needs to. Collins finds a big one onto MBK, though, just as he's coming off the angle. Little unfortunate. Either way. And yes. Oh, nice finding towards mid. Okay, so got to be careful here on the Partizan side that they don't start dropping these moments back to the opposing side. ROGA looking to find a head. Oh, did he just spot the side? I don't think he did. Kenny S is after him. Oh, there's the barrel, and that will be a pretty big one. They needed Kenny to go first. Python's a little bit ahead of things.
I think they might
ROGA
just save,
knows.
honestly. I mean, how the heck are you getting this bomb down with 20 seconds left? Kenny's got to look everywhere. He's covering CC right now. Kind of lucky that nobody's coming off catwalk. Hadji does make it to the site. Smoke is down. Emmy's going to peek. Oof. Nade into the smoke. Needs to peppering up a few more bullets. 14 HP. ROGA's going to finish it off. And Kenny's left alone in from here. It's so tricky. He's completely enveloped. There's a player behind in the murder hole. Jupiter can swing up into his ladder room if needed, and ROGA finishes it off. A clean round as well, and that's truly so important, isn't it? If they'd lost all their numbers and got a, given Falcons a chance to put them straight back on pistols, that would have been awful. But 4 players alive. Best round of the half, obviously, for them. And, yeah, looking a little bit rosier as we get into these later stages.
All to play for. The final tactical timeout going to be used by Partizan. They've stacked 2 on top of each other as well, so they are really not messing around here. Hoping to find a way back in, nice and clean. Falcons, though, they've got other ideas, of course. Maybe a timeout of their own would be required. They're not much of a timeout team, but this would certainly be a good time for one.
I think they recognize the moment that this is where recovery comes, or it slips really far away. M4 on the ground. Kiss, kiss, love heart on the left. There's not going to be any affection shown between the teams in this round. It's going to be all gunfire. And here we go. Collins. Volley's top mid. Surely they want to peek out a connector here aggressively with that molly down. So many nades exchanged, and I'm not sure they know about MBK close. Oh, an awkward fight. KalubeR capitalizes. MBK really should have got that kill. And it hands Partizan the advantage.
Yep. Falcons have got to be really careful now, of course. Can't let another player slip. And MBK, he has been flustered in this game, it's got to be said. Really on the in-game leading trail at the moment, but very, very, very difficult. 5 on 4. Working their way out through. Rampart flash headshot through the smoke. What is going on there? Hadji looking for a bit more, and he's ripping them off. Brilliant stuff. Bomb going to go down 4 versus 3, and there's only a smoke to get back into the site for Partizan. This really was not the move. The bomb's actually not going to go down. I swear they attempted it. Misheard either way. Suta moves forwards, and perhaps they should have got it down by now, because now it's going to be difficult to do so. What has happened here? KalubeR and ROGA, both of them just going to open the site back up, open the round back up, and a 4v3 goes into a 1v3 in about 3 seconds. Early tag onto Kenny as well to pretty much seal the deal on this one. He's going to attempt the bomb plant. Goes in for a fake. No one's moving. They respect this guy a lot, and you can see why. He's got the confidence 17-8 to try and go for it. Nice contact frag. I don't think
I
so,
don't
Kenny.
think he's got it.
I do not think so.
Yeah, for half a second there, he did think I was trying to knee, but it's not on. This is now game on. They've had to work so hard to whittle down this money for the T side, but finally it's in a little bit of a precarious position. This will be a buy, but Partizan have done the hard part. They've actually limited this T money after such a streak of rounds from Falcons. And ROGA's coming alive a little bit. It's taken him a lot of the game, to be honest. KalubeR's had a great second half. He's built upon his stellar results in that first. Whew. Starting to get really tense, of course. Like Endpoint and 9 earlier, this is against elimination. Losers going home. Only one spot in ESL Pro League, at least from the EU perspective, is left remaining. And so many of these teams are playing great Counter-Strike. Only one's going to make it. And of course, Sprout and Forza, top seeds in the tournament for many of the favorites, are still waiting in the lower brackets. So even if you survive this, you're going to have your work cut out. But one game at a time. And for both of these teams, they're thinking right now, this is very much winnable here on Mirage.
Flash over the top. peek in from Emmy. He's actually looking to escape it more than anything. Wants to change his angle up. ROGA going to get boosted above the smoke here. I don't think that this one really works as an annoying piece of cloth in the way. Flash towards CT. It's relatively obvious. It doesn't blind up Emmy. He's ready for it. Follow-up CT. Flash is good, but not quite great. Thank God for Collins to be there. Brings them back into a 3 versus 2. The bomb, though, is about a quarter, now a third of the way ticked. Need to get a move on.
Molly on
Need to get a
Haji.
move on.
This is really awkward. Force wide, ROGA connects, and now Kenny is a bad plan from his default. If a player can just cross and get on the bomb, he's got no chance of stopping this. Kenny's so low, and there it is. 13 rounds for Partizan. Well, they weren't that far behind at any point, but in terms of the economy, this is feeling like quite a monumental comeback, quite a switchback. And now Partizan's showing some of that form they showcased much earlier on in this game, and they're streaking ahead on the T side.
Yep. Falcons need a timeout. I think they need a calm down, to be honest with you. Not their map. They're confident in their nuke or whatever, but I don't know. It's just getting a bit giddy. There it is. Okay, at the very last second. Thanks for that one, guys. Keeping us on the edge of our seats for the most basic of chat commands. But all good. At least they've got the timeout in.
Okie dokie. They might, for a second, be considering a buy. Kenny, MBK, and Haji can invest, but I think it's just a little bit too much. Kenny's going to buy some nades, and it is indeed the half buy. Not a bad call. Just giving Partizan a great shot now at 14. I think they're buying this utility for a specific reason. You can see they're quite slow and composed. They're buying it up. 5 smokes in now. Maybe a set play. Let's have a look what they're going for. Early mid smokes. 2 of them hitting the deck already. Top, mid, and window. I thought they were going for a set round, but it kind of looks like a default at the moment.
Yeah. Just trying to send things over. Pick up short, quick towards B. Duplicate, though, in the apartment has got the perfect spot for this, to be honest with you. Surely should have dealt with them both, and KalubeR can only get one despite such a strong game from him. 4v3, B bomb side falling. The AWP is in from ROGA, and he has to find maybe even one more, to be honest. Nice Molotov. Forces them into an awkward plant. A plant for short instead. Leaves them much more vulnerable. It's a hard angle to clear, though. misutaaa showing why as he gets 2 down to just ROGA on the AWP into the 1 versus 1. Moves on to the AK. Knows misutaaa is low. 3 AP, and that is not enough. Partizan, a tough fight once again, but they will get a massive round to find 14.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the players in apartments couldn't get a great deal done. ROGA goes nuclear. Massive round from... Is ROGA the Croatian? I don't want to get it wrong. I was going to say Croatian, but let me just check. So. I believe it's Croatian. It is Croatian. Why don't I just trust myself? Great round from the Croatian. There you go.
Indeed. Nailed it. But good to see him putting the...
You had to be a little bit careful in the Balkans to just get it right.
Putting them on the map. Beautiful stuff. And trying to play aggressive. He's got some newfound confidence from the previous round, and, well, it would be well-founded. Beautiful pickup. The nade less so. That's kind of hilarious, but it does minimal damage to him. He is really stuck
What is going on?
Towards lower. This is absolute carnage.
I think we need some circus music over this.
Yeah, Partizan have been very clear-cut in a lot of their rounds. This is anything but, to be honest with you. Craziness.
I wonder if ROGA is one of those really twitchy players, you know, the ones that get... I mean, it happens quite a lot for AWPers, but you get scenarios like that from the players that are just sort of jumping around and going a bit berserk, rather than being, you know, the super, like, Iceman, super cold, calm and collected. Here we go. Collins lacking a gun on our view, but I assure you he has one. And they're going for this ramp push. This could be absolute carnage. Oh, my lord. As they peek into each other, Kenny gets the first. They might not expect the second. MBK peeks. Python's there for the trade. That hasn't worked out, that push. And now ROGA's called upon. First found. As soon as close. KalubeR's there to bail them out. And it's just Kenny. It's just Kenny. Nade might finish him off. Duplicate has one. It's a little bit hard to rattle off that nade. He's being held from default. Bomb is planted. 29 HP, all on Kenny.
This is what he's known for, though. Making a lot of noise here, and he's just not fast enough. The peek comes in for KalubeR at the perfect time to take him down. And that might just be all she wrote for the game. We'll see. The loss bonus is up there. They've got the bomb plant as well, but now it is a battle to the death for Falcons. They cannot afford to lose a round.
Falcons did so much work at the start of the seaside to make this game compelling, but the wheels have just fallen off completely. ROGA's come alive. He's getting so many opening picks. And they have no answer. Absolutely no answer right now. 3 rounds for overtime. The Falcons are looking at here, or will be going on to nuke. Partizan will have a CT start on nuke to boot, so a little bit troublesome position in this series. If it continues as we expect. Kenny S flashing over his teammates, peek from ramp, and they're getting super explosive. Look at misutaaa. The player in sandwich. It's a real big question of whether he peeks this. ROGA's trying to take some presence. As Emmy waits to be activated. This is a hero or zero spot. What's it going to be? First kill found by Emmy. Molly makes it so hard for Python to trade. Kenny gets another. 3-on-3 now, and Emmy's in a world of trouble. Here's the deck. And I think Partizan should save.
Well, it would seem they maybe have other ideas. Duplicates. Probably depends on how an exchange goes. Just holding them in right now. KalubeR's making progress. He's making strides. I don't think he's been seen just yet. Duplicate wins his fight against Python. They know Kenny is in towards default. Can't find his head. He's looking for the head at the bottom of the stairs, but the gap is closing. There's not a lot of time here. KalubeR takes out MBK. It's Kenny S all by himself. There's still not a lot of time. Kill's got to come in, but Kenny S stays alive. And so will Falcons because of it.
Okay, well, to some extent I stand corrected. It was a very good attempt. I really thought Kenny was dead when the player was up on ticket. Kicking himself for not taking Kenny down in the end. This one's going to be an eco. And we're looking towards round 30. Falcons refusing to die. Get into these latter stages. And yeah, look at this. Basically a full eagle, couple deagles in the mix, but Partizan are thinking completely about this final and 30th round.
Oh. Suter. Gonna get caught off by Emmy. Kind of funny. Ooh, and there's 4 on B. Where are they going? They're looking a little bit for the follow-up here from Emmy if it's going to come in, and Emmy's doing his best to make as much noise on A as possible. Gasp. This is going to work. Molotov will push ROGA out. He just needs to try and find one. They don't come for him, and now they'll feel confident about the B hit. There's a player in the form of Collins on high duplicate. It's a big heady, and he does a little bit more damage. I don't know. They're ready for this. Yeah, they're somewhat wary of a B stack, and the weapon is too strong. All the way down to the full 30 here, Alan. And we'll see Partizan looking to take it over the line with a bye, but of course, Falcons, they are very, very nearly here for this overtime.
Yeah. Kenny's had a great game so far. Misutaaa's also in shape. These two are propelling them towards having an opportunity. Buy on Partizan isn't perfect. It's fairly good. With a FAMAS on KalubeR and that MP9 on Emmy, it's lacking a tad. Collins here tasked with locking down mid at the start. Oh my lord. ROGA's in a world of trouble. He has to kill Python. Indeed he does. And he's going to back himself into Palace. 4-on-3 for this Falcons squad until Collins gets another. ROGA is so concerned. He doesn't know where to look right now.
ROGA very confused, of course. He's sticking up there, and they're going to smoke him off, in fact, so it's a presence they're going to have to deal with pretty readily. There's nobody else in towards the A-bomb site for now. Haji's going to give it a go. Oh, wow, and a flying success. You've got to be kidding. ROGA lets it slip. the very final round of regulation. That could have been the game if he found that one. Hadji with the hockey peak. It works for him, and Kenny, trained on that angle, finds an easy frag. Now just duplicate against 3 to stop the overtime. Can he get it done? The big question of the hour. He cannot, and it will be overtime required, folks. More here on Mirage coming up after the break.
It's so high from here, you can see the world, and we are insistent to be small. Set aside your subdivide. I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The many is the one. You build your walls of faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be borne. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your omission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction. We are many of one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back in for the overtime here of the first map between Falcons and Partizan, battling for their life here in EPL Season 17 European Conference. And just as we were thinking Partizan were able to get it over the line, Falcons, they come right back in and they are battling tooth and nail to pick up their opponent's map pick here.
Starting to get scary. Falcons do not have a compelling record on this map either, so yeah, yet to win a map with Kenny S on the Mirage. That's why this is so scary for Partizan, because it looked like a lot going into this veto. I said it, if Partizan don't get this to a third map, at least, it feels like quite the capitulation. And now, back against the wall, we're into overtime. Kenny starts in towards Palace. Whew, this is very passive from Falcons. Maybe they're expecting some aggression. Look at them. So far back and yet to make any real moves.
Yes, yet to make any real moves. We'll see what the first real move looks like for them. Here of overtime. money no longer an issue. It was kind of one of the things that plagued Partizan towards the tail end of regulation. So see how that changes the energy. It often does for a CT side moving into overtime. It often does. 59 seconds as I look at the clock, though, and it was B presence earlier on, and now all of a sudden we don't really have any B presence. Oh my goodness, a late smoke. Whoever's decided to lay that one down, really, really smart play and a good read coming in from Partizan. This is really, really all the way down to the final few seconds here for Falcons. I mean, where has this kind of come from? It's a bit different for them. Fake out towards B. We'll see whether it works. KalubeR actually blinded up, but it's Emmy from CT that's doing the work. They've got to deal with him. The bomb leads the charge and does get dropped. Hits the deck in a really awkward spot. KalubeR, speaking of awkward spots, puts Kenny into one. And now I guess he's just going to move to save, as it is definitely not going to happen. They get minced on the A-bomb side.
Yes, indeed. Wow, I mean... So, I can't believe it was that slow from Falcons. Whole round just seemed to drain away before they made a move. And yeah, go for that Palace kind of waterfall at the end. It's a really good setup to have a player firebox and then someone taking contact CT. I was a bit stunned that it was actually Emmy to find the kills, but yeah. Here we go then. Second round of this T-side in overtime. And Falcons with a point to prove. Oof. Top mid nades just about evade MBK. Just a little bit of damage, but could have been a hell of a lot worse. As Falcons again, quite a passive default. I mean, they've used quite a lot of nades towards mid already, but in terms of their actual stances of their players, they haven't really got a great deal of control. It's only now is MBK clearing a little bit of mid, but he's playing a risky game because he's got no backup from his teammates.
Charging, leading the way. He finds the head of the first duplicate, though, over at the back end of sight. Nearly in for the triple. NES holding here with the AWP, loses his teammate MBK on the other side of the map. Not good. Haji's down to half. Really not good. NES gonna have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Takes a few ticks from the Molotov towards the end. So does Haji once again. They are being edged and edged and edged and edged out of this round. There's a flank coming through from Emmy as well, which is going to be really strong when it gets activated. They do need to be a bit careful. Half the time already gone. Kenny finds Collins getting cheeky. He will be left alone now, though. There's not a lot of time here, Alan. Emmy's flank, thank goodness, was not watched for. I think if he finds that kill, the round's kind of over, but he was just not ready for it at all. And so, therefore, the 17th does get put on the board.
That was looking pretty good for Falcons as they actually got out of apartments. It's just so enveloped in that afterplant. Kenny couldn't connect, and that ultimately was the downfall. One chance to get something out of this first half of overtime for Falcons. It just feels like, given how T-sided actually regulation was, I mean, if you get clean swept on the CT side by the CT side, you're in a lot of trouble going into the second half of this first deployment of overtime. ROGA mollies out those mid boxes, confirmation that nobody's behind those. And as we can see on the mini-map, Falcons are really expecting to work their way onto A. They lose their teammate in mid, and there's 4 players nearby to A. This is going to be really difficult for Falcons.
Yeah, not looking good. KalubeR the first one to chime in. Emmy doing solid work here once again. He does find 2. Kenny burns him eventually, and suddenly it's just Kenny all by himself. Even trying to keep up with the kill feed was difficult for this one. Down to the 1v1 though. Kenny S looking for more vintage rounds, but ROGA will cut him off, and that is a flawless CT half of overtime.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Partisans. Yeah. They had a really, really tough stretch at the start of regulation, or the start of CT side on regulation. And it feels like they kind of played themselves into form. That overtime was brilliant. A lot of different looks, making good decisions. Retakes were coordinated, and Falcons getting fully blindsided here. They worked so hard to get this to overtime, but this feels like a step too far. 3 opportunities for Partizan to close out their map pick, ensure at minimum a 3rd map, and put Falcon on the absolute brink of elimination here in the Pro League Conference for Europe.
Well, here we roll. Here we go. Little tiny tech pause there, I think, for whatever reason. Not sure, it might have been accidentally called, but either way, we are back into the action quite quickly. Map point here, Partizan their own pick. It's been hard. It's been awfully hard to get this one over the line. Nuke coming up next. Falcons, it's good to see them playing well, but I'm sure they'd love to extend this one and nick it away. They need an awfully good CT side out of them, and, well, it starts off with a 2-man boost up in towards the Palace. 1 falls, 1 finds a kill. Meanwhile, they give B a go. That also doesn't quite work.
Shots exchanged on B. They applied a lot of pressure, but no closer to ending. Do they know that Duplicate's out Tetris? Hadji seems to be clearing through, but oh no. No idea. Kenny, fortunately, fast on his fingers, gets the trade. And this is what Partizan wants. I mean, just make the rounds chaotic, make them difficult. You've got 3 chances here. Kenny's not quite sure where to look. Python's only now coming over, but he's got an AWP in hand. It's not going to be the ideal weapon if this gets hectic. As Partizan have made their mind up, it's going to be A. There is a window boost. Python is holding, but can't connect. Emmy crosses the angle. Actually, the wallbang. Oh, my lord. This is getting very close indeed.
KalubeR. Oh, lands the dink. It's through the wall, though. It's through the wood of the murder hole. Can't secure the kill, and that could make all the difference in the suit moving it from short.
Oh, no.
Can't secure the kill of his own, and that's a big one to be given away. KalubeR does make the short jump. The bomb is...
Collins, he could have made it to B.
He could have
Now
done.
it's too
I
much.
think it's the confusion. Yep, and it works out. That's going to be the secure from Partizan. A bit of a silly one to drop at the end as well from Falcons. Not a single round picked up in the overtime that they fought so hard to get. And alive. That was a hell of a map.
Yeah, that's for sure. Wow. I mean, that was absolute roller coaster. Partizan looked so good in the first half, let it slip back, and thank God for their sake, they do close out their map pick. So, I guess in that sense, we're going on par in the series. Falcons honestly played a better Mirage.